Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So today I'm going to review January's numbers as well as what's happened the last 2 weeks since I missed last week. So looking at January's numbers, last January in 2025, our average price was $1,075,000. This January we're actually down about 4% to $1,032,000. Overall, it's not a massive drop, and we did have a slower start to the year, and we were coming out of a really bad year. So overall, I'm not super disappointed with that number. Something to note though is our units sold dropped almost 40%. So last year we sold 49 units in January, and this year we only sold 30. That is quite the drop. We knew week to week that we were seeing low sales numbers, but this definitely is one of the lowest months I can ever remember seeing, even in our slow times. So we're gonna see how February goes. I think the overall consensus is the market is actually doing pretty decent things. We saw quite a few properties sell in the last few weeks that were new listings. So buyers are out, things are busy-ish, and so it's not completely dead out there. It's still just not like hot yet. But I've heard of some bidding wars. Open houses have been busy. So promising things going into February. So let's see what happens. Now looking at the last 2 weeks. So in Georgetown, we had 6 sales the one week and 6 sales the next week. So again, not super high numbers, but they're not like completely dead. And we had 21 new listings. So inventory is going to be increasing, but we had quite a few terminations too. So that is good news. Like overall, over the course of 2 weeks, to only see 21 new listings is not a flood to the market of inventory. Acton had 3 sales and then no sales and 3 new listings over the course of the 2 weeks, so they're pretty even there. Glen Williams had no sales one week and 1 sale the next week, and then no new listings in the Glen. And then the rural market saw 1 sale each week and 6 new listings. So something also to note when we're looking at the sales is we are split in half. There was 18 sales over the course of the last 2 weeks. 9 of them were under $1 million and 9 were over $1 million. So sometimes we get into these markets where we're seeing a heavy amount of sales in one pocket or the other, but we're right down the middle, which is good because we need that lower pocket to be selling to really keep our market fueled. So the numbers are pretty difficult to get on terminations, expireds, all of that if you don't do it week to week. So over the course of the 2 weeks, we had quite a few properties terminate and not relist yet. So that has helped, even though we've seen higher new listings than sales, that has definitely helped to keep inventory at bay. So looking at our active listings, all of Halton Hills is only up from 138 to 143 active listings. So we're only up by 5 listings, which is great news. We are not in any way in a spiral here. Georgetown went from 75 to 80 active listings currently. That is still an okay number for Georgetown. It is climbing, but it is still soft in comparison to what we were seeing last year. It's still half of where we were last fall. Looking at our price points, under 800,000 is down from 18 to 12 active listings. So I do think our opening price point buyers are starting to come out. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for buyers right now. So only having 12 listings under 800,000, I'm going to consider that pretty low. 800 to $1 million is up from 28 to 31 active listings. We are seeing a lot of properties that would normally be over $1 million tucking right under that $1 million mark. It's really where market value is for a lot of things right now. That's sort of $999. And so we have a high amount of inventory sitting in that pocket. And like I said, there's some really good deals, in my opinion. Knowing where our market can go, the prices right now are very nice. 1 to 1.5 million is up slightly from 25 to 26, but that's staying relatively calm. And same with 1.5 million plus. It went from 9 to 11, but these numbers are still dramatically lower than where we were last year. And there is opportunity here. Like I said, there was quite a few properties that listed in the last 2 weeks and have already sold. So you just need to be really realistic to where you are in today's market. In Acton this week, we are down from 18 to 15 active listings. That is due to some terminations. Glen Williams is down from 8 to only 6 active listings in the Glen. That is the lowest number we have seen in the Glen. Like, I don't even know if that's, yeah. Last February was when we had that number low in the Glen. And the rural market is up from 37 to 42 active listings, which is bad news for rural. We know that that market can climb pretty quickly and it doesn't move once town starts to climb. So hopefully we just start to see the buyer activity pick up so these inventory numbers don't get too crazy. I'm not surprised with January's low units sold. I think pricing is relatively stable. We really have been sitting between 1 and 1.1 million on our average price pretty consistently for the last year. There's been the odd month that went like to the low million mark, or the odd one that went over 1.1, but really that is where our pricing has been. We have not seen a huge drop in average pricing, but we are definitely not seeing a huge uptick. I am hopeful that by March we are seeing average prices over that 1.1 again, but really who knows. There feels like there's so many factors that have impacted our market the last few years that it's getting a little less predictable. So either way, I will be back next week to see how February is going. I hope you all have a great week.